What's up, everybody? Welcome to South Beach Strategy, another beautiful day on Miami Beach. As you know, we like to talk about entrepreneurship, business, health, wealth, and who better to talk about that with than Connor Wade?
How we doing,
What's good,
bro?
my brother? How we doing?
Amazing.
Everything good?
Me. All is well.
Of course, I knew you moved into the neighborhood, so we had to have you on here,
Absolutely.
So let's just let it rip from the beginning. Hawk Wade, where do we get that from?
Hawk is actually my middle name.
Mm-hmm.
So I grew up growing up. I was the Hawk in sports. My mascot happened to be the Hawk. So people always that was always a nickname for me. I just kind of stuck with it. I made that name at a pretty young age, and I was like, I'm gonna keep it. Makes it a little unique.
It goes with you perfectly, bro.
Yeah.
I saw it when I first met you, and we met on a yacht, right? And when I saw us partying, I was like, Hawk, wait, this guy for sure is the Hawk, bro.
Yeah.
It made total sense.
It got passed down great uncle, Native American, Hawk. My dad thought it was cool. Just kept it in the family. I'll probably name my kid Hawk.
Yeah, that's great. I love it. Where are you from?
I grew up in South Jersey,
Okay,
Haddonfield. Went to school in North Carolina, played football down there for a bit, and then moved to Manhattan. Then COVID happened. I was New York or nowhere, 2-week vacation in Miami, and I was like, this place makes more sense.
Yeah. Just so you know, nobody that's been on the podcast is from Miami.
Okay.
We haven't had one entrepreneur that's from Miami,
most people doing big business here are, from got that Northeast spirit in them.
Yeah, a lot of people. I'm from New York.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, they travel down here and then they just fall in love with the city and then they just keep it going.
It's a good place for, you bring a New York mentality to Miami Beach. You can do a lot of things because not everybody's moving at the same, pace.
Yes. And that's why I love this interview a lot because people have the misconception that Miami is party, party, party. And I know you're huge at the party scene, but it's also a good place where you can do business and you can also live a very good life as well.
Absolutely.
So we wanted to have you on so we could talk about it because one of the things you have on your Instagram is health is wealth. Break that down for us.
Yeah. Well, Miami's actually, we're ranked either number 1 or number 2 every year, happiest and healthiest city in the United States. So that's big news. Not everyone is out and about, we're not just a party town. Like people take their health seriously here. We have the highest number of people that work out at least a few times a week. People watch what they eat. People are outside, they're on the beach. And to be frank, it's competitive out here. Like you gotta be, you're not, good luck if you're like, a fat slob in Miami. It's not that easy. It's competitive, you gotta look good, men and female. And, looking good, when you look good, you feel good, you perform better, and health is wealth, I zero envy of a guy that has all the money in the world that is in terrible shape because he doesn't have much longer here with us. And you can't perform for your business, for your family, if you don't feel good. And if you aren't, biologically, healthy and good, it truly is the most important thing. Without that, you have nothing. So I preach that and I believe it. And, it's resonating. People start it's a big wake up over the last, 5 or 6 years. I think COVID opened a lot of people's eyes, like, damn, next time something like this happens, I want to make sure I'm ready for it. I want to make sure I'm healthy. Like longevity wasn't really hot before 2020. It was all reactive medicine, Western medicine, like go to the doctor when you're sick, take care of yourself when something happens, wait till you have symptoms. And now we just know way too much and we have AI helping and you're like, everyone's different. You could do preventative medicine. You can look around the corner and see what you're more prone to get, what you should be doing to take care of yourself, so you don't get that. And it's all, the fundamentals being the most important, but there's a lot of more, cutting edge stuff that you can be doing.
Nice. And you play football in what, college?
Yeah, played football as a linebacker in college, and then, several knee injuries, had to eventually hang that up. But, I was an athlete, 3-sport athlete my whole life. I'm still like, I've got that mentality. And sports are forever be a part of my life and are all built who I am today.
Yeah. So you were the Hawk, you're the linebacker, you're in college, balling. Tell us how your career transformed from college. Like, where did you go?
Yeah. So I always wanted to work on Wall Street, chase that dream. I wanted to be in finance. I was like obsessed with the markets. So I, did that. I worked at interned at JP, Credit Suisse. I worked at BlackRock for a bit. I was, climbing the corporate ladder in finance. And then, some things happened in my life. And long story short, I took a 2-week vacation to Miami. I right place, right time. I started, buying vacation rental properties. That business was booming in 21, 22. Probably the easiest money I've ever made. So I was, I'm an entrepreneur just chasing opportunities. That business made a lot of sense. So I scaled that business. It was really good. 21 to through, 23, slowed down a bit. More people, more players entered the market. COVID was just like crazy. It was like 100% occupancy during
Yes.
COVID. A lot of more players started to enter market. Still a great business, but I was like spent the last few years like kind of ready to pounce on something new. And then I just kept, reading more and more about, longevity. I actually lost my father like 3 years ago from a cardiac arrest. So like health just became like, it went from something I was conscious about to be like, I'm obsessed with health. Like, trying to figure out how to keep people around my, like, now I just want to make sure my mom doesn't go anywhere. So like, I was always thinking about longevity and not believing in big pharma cartel and reactive medicine. And that kind of like motivated me to, you know, I was like really, passionate about the space. I convinced a doctor friend of mine to start a telehealth clinic. So we are selling peptides for the last like year and a half. And then stem cells got legalized in Florida in July. And I was like, okay, right place, right time. I got a huge network in Miami. I can do something I'm passionate about, that's intellectually stimulating and help people. And I think stem cells will be the biggest, it's going to be a gold rush. Everyone's going to be doing this stuff. If you're not doing it now, 5 years from now, you're gonna be like, why didn't I get started earlier? So I think a lot of these regenerative medicine tools are super powerful. They're cutting edge. They're exciting. And I think when you combine a lot of these modalities like hyperbaric chambers and VO2 max, you can really, your how old you are is just a number, and it's optional. Like your biological age is completely independent of what inputs and outputs, and you can really control how long you're here. And really, it's all about health span. It's not a lot of people I talk to about this. They're like, oh, I don't really care. Like, I don't want to live till I'm 120. It's like I do, but people care more about the health span. Like, you want to feel like you're 50 when you're 80. I think that's the new flex. It's not what kind of car you're driving or what you kind of clothes you're wearing. It's like, your body's a representation of yourself. You can't really shortcut that. Like you had to work for that, and you want to feel good as you get older. Like we don't want to stop doing all what we're doing now to enjoy ourselves. And you could really get more good years of your life. And it's by doing all the right things. So right place, right time, and I'm excited about the business and the opportunity.
Well, I want to start with saying I'm sorry to hear about your dad. I know that that's tough, and you're
Thank
dealing
you.
with a family member. And it's great that you're trying to be proactive now for your mom. And I guess I would say for the people who are not really interested in it, you're not interested in it until you come
I,
across that road.
yeah, I'm like, I can't tell you how many 40-year-old friends who I have that think they're freaking healthy that haven't gotten blood work done in 4 years, and they don't even know what's going on inside of their body. Like,
Mm.
you don't know you're healthy. You might be. You probably have things you could easily improve on and optimize to extend your life. And then I also tell them, okay, you're healthy, great. How are your parents doing? How's your family doing? Because like everybody has someone in their life that it's kind of contagious. You start to push your friends and family members to like take care of their health and be healthier. Like, you are who you're a product of your five closest friends and who you spend the most time with. If you're pushing health, on people, it works and it gets contagious, and you could change someone's life. You could save someone from, simple stuff like getting your freaking blood work done, or like, t- you know, getting a MRI, like medical MRI scan where they could see, or you had something in your heart. All this stuff is like, some of it's not rocket science. It's easy and it can save your life.
Mhm.
And we've already done that. Like detected someone had thyroid cancer. We recommended they got a Pernobo scan.
Mhm.
Like all this stuff is, eye opening to me. Like, wow, so you might be healthy. I can sure bet your parents could be healthier. So like it should be something that you're conscious and care about. And it's not it's the most selfless thing ever to take care of your health and the people around you's health, because people are counting on you. People that are fathers, that are not taking their health seriously. That's selfish.
Yeah,
You know,
you nailed the nail on the hammer. My boy was
yeah,
42. He had 2 heart attacks, but he refused to get blood work. He never wanted to
it's
go to the doctor, never wanted to get blood work, just wanted to self-medicate himself all the time. He looked great. You see him in the
yeah,
mirror, you'd be like, man, that guy is in shape. Didn't know. All of a sudden leaves the gym, has a heart attack, and he drives himself to the hospital. Didn't even know he was having a heart attack. He gets there and he finds out. I mean, a simple blood test, like you said, would have prevented that because he probably would have known he had high cholesterol or
Yep.
whatever the diagnosis was for that.
I just took a blood test like a step further. We did a age code. It's like the most advanced. Combines like genetics and epigenetics to it's like a 120 page like really comprehensive report at a cellular level. And like I take my health really seriously. I biohack every day, but I found out I had cardiovascular risk as well. Like I had high ApoB, high LDL. My diet's like super inflamed. It would pinpoint exactly I mean, how much it knew about me was it was crazy. Like it knows, like, hey, you're probably eating before bed. I'm like, yeah, I am. You're probably, not ignoring seed oils. You're probably, maybe having a drink or, drinking on the weekend. Like all these little things that, it could tell because it's testing you at a cellular level. And your body's interesting because all the organs in your body and all of your different cells are aging at different paces. So it actually breaks down, your biological age, but also like your organ system age, your nervous system's age, how's your metabolic, how's your hormones, and then you could go deeper, and then you become a real geek about your health, and like you can really optimize it, see what you're deficient in, what I need more of, what I need less of, you know. So that's taking it a step further, but it's still the fundamentals that most people are missing on. So start there, movement, nutrition, good sleep, and then that those are the fundamentals, and that's 80% of the battle. And then there's all these other things that you can be doing and should be doing.
So just before we go into the business stuff, for our viewers that don't know, like Hawk runs with the heavy hitters and the A-listers in Miami and worldwide. I gotta know, how were these parties in Miami when you came down for COVID? Because they must have been crazy, huh? What was your experience
I
like there?
I found Miami to be a super unique place about like New York, important people are kind of hard to get to, right? Like you got to set up a meeting with them. You might meet them in the dark corner of a restaurant or whatever. In Miami, they got the table next to you wondering what the hell you do. Like they're out and about. Everyone's like, in the social atmosphere here, and you really have access to everybody. So like right when I got here, I started like kind of connecting the dots that it was like exploding of important people coming here. And I start like, for example, I sold like 18 million in 11 condos in like 2 months just being out in the scene with people in Miami. Just like that's hard to do, just but in Miami, there's an opportunity to connect with whoever you want, being, a real guy in a city that's not all real people. People recognize that but you have an opportunity to meet people out and about in the social scene, which is, pretty cool. And it's not like as destructive as you would think if you keep your head on straight and you're doing it the right way. If you're
Yeah.
calculated about what you're doing and what you're trying to accomplish, you can get a lot of business done just being in the right places, in the right rooms.
Yeah, and I
So
noticed that about you because when we met, we met partying obviously, and then following you on the gram, I saw you were also kind of doing business
yeah.
in the party scene at the same time, and I could tell there was something that you were connecting there. You were working with a real estate, or you also had like a party venture, I think it was, or something like that. Well, talk to us about someone like how did you adapt to the scene? You started doing now. Now I realize you had the short term rentals,
Yeah.
which is huge here in Miami. Houses, cars, yachts. Everybody wants that. So what was
I
that
I
like?
I found that, social capital in Miami was, as valuable as capital. So, like, I was like and I just found it kinda fun, obviously, and I was like, "I'm pretty good at this." So bringing people together was like a passion of mine. It's fun. You get to put the right people in the room and, create powerful connections and relationships, and, I always did it more out of, passion, but then I just always kept my head on straight, like, "Oh, wow, this guy, runs this company. My friend has this opportunity." Like always just trying to connect dots, bridge right relationships. Um, and then just surrounding like kind of weeding out the people you don't want to be in the room with. There's Miami, as it's a sunny place for shady people. Like
Yes.
not everyone here has been sunshine and rainbows doing business
Yes.
with.
Yeah.
I've learned that the hard way.
Yeah.
I've accidentally partnered up with people that I was like kind of questioning their integrity, but I was like, this might be worth the
Yeah.
opportunity.
Yeah.
Never a good decision
Yes.
if someone's not like if there's a shade of a little bit of question on someone's integrity and character, like you just don't go that direction.
And that's a good follow up here. So, did you notice a big difference between the people in New York and when you were doing business up there to when you came here to do business? What was the difference?
It was painful. I mean, Miami and New York is like lack of accountability. People are late. They don't follow up. They say they're going to do something. They just straight up don't do it. Love this city and everything, the lifestyle and everything it's created for me. But like, it's good to be in New York, mindset and energy here because like, you're just they're a little more on top of things. So doing business from a trust standpoint and just holding people accountable on timelines and next steps. It was painful, especially I was showing up to show a house and people just weren't showing up. It's like I just drove an hour and a half to get
Yeah,
here.
yeah,
Like you owe me for
yeah,
my time.
yeah, yeah.
Just
And they
brutal.
just won't be there.
Just forgot or
Yeah,
just slipped their calendar,
yeah.
and so it was a little painful in the beginning, but now I'm enjoying like this city has changed so much, like on who has moved here, and this is like there's explosive amounts of new capital and people that are trying to get business done. It's a really great place for founders to be, like the community and network of being like an entrepreneur and business founder. There's a lot of other. It's collaborative. People are trying to help each other. I think in New York, people are like so hyper competitive that it's almost damaging because they're like everyone's just trying to outdo each other.
Mhm.
Sure, you have elements of that here, but like I find it to be more collaborative where I have, friends that are, I'm in the middle of the pack in my friend group. I have friends running massive companies doing 9 figures a year. I'm learning from them. They're helping me. I'm finding opportunities to help them. I find it to be very collaborative here. It's a lot of founders and less corporate, not a lot of high corporate earners here, but there's a lot of like really successful business owners here. So you can connect and strategize with them. Miami's a great place to be for that.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I think there's a big change in like the way the business was during COVID to how it is now. So business wise, things have changed, and I also think that there's a change in fitness.
Yep.
So, what is your view on the way that fitness has evolved from COVID to now? Because I feel like it's a full 360, right?
Yeah. I think a lot of you know, we know so much more about like, you know, peptides, for example, started, no one, peptides have been around in the bodybuilding community for a decade, but nobody, there was a few years ahead and they've been around for a long time. Like they've been tested and been used. Peptides didn't even get big until the GLPs blew up, and then everyone's like, "Holy shit, how's everybody losing weight?" And everyone's like, "All right, what else works?"
Hmm.
It's just this chain of amino acids that tell your cells a function or how to communicate or what to do. There's like, look, how many other use cases do we have of these peptides? So now you see people like getting a little more excited about hitting because it's putting on muscle in your 30s and 40s isn't easy. But when you get to enhance it with making sure your testosterone is at an optimal level, what peptides would help you get to the whatever goals you're trying to accomplish, whether it's shedding or recovering from an injury or just increasing your growth hormone in your body. So I think there's a lot more enhancements and ways to really elevate the performance. So I think that's changed. But I hope we're like leaving the stage of like, whatever that dad bod thing was. I hope we're getting away from that. People care about fitness and being you. It's in a represent. Your first representation of yourself when you walk into a room.
Hmm.
I would never. I don't think I'm bad to say like it would be really challenging for me to hire someone that doesn't take care. Like if you're overweight, like you better be a freaking brainiac
Yeah,
for me to impress me enough to think that I should trust you running my business when you can't even take care of yourself.
yeah.
So I think it's super powerful, and you get more respect just being out in everyday world, just being a guy that takes care of himself. People respect you more than the guy that doesn't,
Yes.
and they should.
And then what about training and partying and stuff? How do you feel like people out there going out still? Or are people now more conscious about their
I
health? And what do your clients say as far as like going out? Are they out or
I
they're more
mean, I
working out and waking up early and going to get coffees?
I think it's all about just like picking your battles, doing it right, balances everything. Some people like, if I have a friend that's like, it's just there's people that it takes them off the deep end, and I'll actually I'm like, bro, I'm not going to continue to hang out if you're going down that hole. It's just not. I really control my environment and my circle, and make sure that I'm always on point, and I have that balance in my life. But they're obviously contradictory. I'm not going to sit here and pretend they're not. If you're like serious about bodybuilding and you're
Yeah.
drinking every weekend,
Yeah.
like you're making it a lot harder on yourself.
Yeah.
Um,
And that's why I feel like there's a huge because COVID was wild. Everybody's partying
co-
every
yeah,
day,
I
It
mean,
was
it was also
every
because
day.
like it was everyone didn't know each other here yet.
Yeah.
So like it was all new people that just moved here. It was like it's exciting time to be out and about. Like everyone's trying to like elevate themselves socially and meet all the right new people. Once you've been here for a few years and you've done it all, it's like you gotta. If you're still that excited to go do the
Yes.
same thing, I mean, I don't know,
Yeah.
but I've always it's not for me. It's always been like as far as going out, like I'm super into music. Like I like going out and connecting and meeting new people. I'm super into music. So like that gives me I'll never not be into, house music. Like that's the reason
Yeah.
that'll
Yeah.
bring me out. Like I'm friends with all these amazing artists. It's a great way to connect and the energy like it's hard to replicate anywhere else when everyone's just like in a good vibe and together. So like going out is for me is more about like connecting with people and also, the atmosphere. I don't not going to be putting myself in environment that's not going to like have zero upside.
Right.
Yeah.
As an entrepreneur, how do you find a balance between work, running a business, and having a social life as well?
Yeah, I mean, well, you certainly need to slow down. If you're running a business, you're never really off the clock. So, uh, my how I acted last few summers, I spent the whole summer in Europe for the last like few years. I've lived like a very, fortunate and crazy life, but I can't spend the whole summer in Europe this year. I'll do. I'm not sitting here saying I'm not going to be up.
Yeah.
I'm still going to get my 2 weeks in, but not 2 months.
Yeah. 2 weeks is good.
2 weeks is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Cutting back on that, and then just like putting myself in intentional environments. Like, all right, I'm going to go to the Monaco Grand Prix, where I'm going to probably meet all these incredible people that are future clients of mine at Evolve Longevity. I'm going to skip Ibiza, where I probably wouldn't be getting anything done that's going to help my health or advance me. Okay, I'll go to this where I have, it's all about picking my battles and thinking about where can I still get work done? Am I going to be, around people that are going to help bring me? I'm really calculated about who I'm around on these trips. And, I think some of the relationships that I've developed are exponential. I am a small fish compared to some of these people that, I'm fortunate to be friends with and be around. So those special opportunities make sense for me. The other ones, they don't. Much more likely to be going home early now than I was 2 years ago when I had a little more less responsibilities. I don't have employees counting on me. I don't have payroll. I don't have investors. It's just totally different when you're running a business and the opportunity set is extremely exciting. I mean, I have a fire under my ass because I want to build, several of these locations that are doing a few $1 million a year and be able to exit like that napkin math is exciting. I'm making a difference in people's lives. I have to walk. I gotta, walk the walk. I can't just, be preaching longevity and be in a club all the time.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah,
it
like you
already
said,
confuses
it's
people.
like I tell people it's like pulling a like tug of rope. You know what I'm saying? You got partying over here, and then you have business over here. And fitness. And it's like if you're partying, and then the rope goes this way, and if you're focused, you can't. It's like you can't do both. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You have to have a healthy balance where you can, and you have to
It,
decide what's the priority.
there's also a change in people are. You could go out. I can go out and have one drink or two drinks and not have and be feel great in the next morning where I'm not just completely destructing,
Yes.
my body. Or people are drinking less. That's obvious. People are less like excited about going and buying a $2,500 bottle.
Yes.
like it,
Yeah.
if you like have bigger ambitions and are building a business, like when you're reinvesting that money, whether it's in the market in your business, like it makes you have to be sensible. It makes a lot more sense. The everyone's got their first year in Miami where they go all in and then you have to kind of recalculate what
Yeah.
makes sense and what doesn't.
I mean, you
'Cause
can't be an idiot. You can't go to Evolve Longevity and spend 2,500 on peptides, and then on the weekend spend 2,500 on
Yeah.
vodka and tequila because it's like one
The
washes out the other.
the irony is though, like we have, a lot of our clients are people that really are enjoying being young. They want to keep living, this life. So like there's a lot of you know, people that they're capable of like living longer and feeling younger for longer because they're getting old and they have the money, but they're enjoying themselves
Yes.
socially. But there's a lot of stuff that they want to detox. They want
Right.
to like take care of their health, be like, they want to make sure that they're okay to keep doing,
Yes.
enjoying their
They want
life.
to extend their
Yeah,
time.
because if they're not, then they're gonna have to take some steps back. But they're obviously contradictory. Like abusing alcohol or drugs and longevity are totally opposite directions.
Yes.
You have to be conscious about it. There's no like, you know, you could have like balance, but if you're like
Balance.
really serious about optimization and like living as long as you can, like alcohol is not in your diet at all.
Yeah.
You know, a lot these things are like, you know, maybe like a glass of red wine
Right.
once a week for because it
Yes.
has antioxidants, but like alcohol is not
Right.
pro longevity by
Right.
any means.
Right.
So I'm not gonna pretend it.
That
It
is,
is.
that
I
is,
just, like,
they go together, right?
I-
They're prescribed together.
I pick up clients all the time when I'm out.
Yeah.
And you know, texting them might be one thing. I'm in their face saying, "You need to come see me at the
Yeah.
clinic." They
Yeah.
come to the clinic.
Yes.
So I'm out
Yeah.
and about for other
Yeah.
reasons too.
Yeah, if you want to have a good balance, I think that's the key. You know what I'm saying? It depends on what you want out of life. Like if you want to be in the best physique, then you're not going to be able to do both. But if you just want to live longer, have a nice extension to life, going to your place and then, just having a balance at home is a good way to get there.
Yep.
So for the people who don't know, what is Evolve Longevity?
We are Miami Beach's, cutting edge preventative medicine and, regenerative medicine clinic. So we have everything regenerative medicine, meaning stem cells, exosomes, peptides, PRP. We do all that. We also have, experts in functional health. So we've really become an ultimate recovery center for people with injuries that they've given up on and other things. So we have shockwave therapy, PMF, hyperbaric chamber. Like we have some of the most efficacious modalities that there are to help you like extend your health span and feel better. And we have, amazing physicians that are customizing these protocols for people. And then we're also deep on testing and preventative medicine. So like we have like those age code tests, we have 60-page hormone panels, microbiome testing, blood work. We really get to know our patients, know their story, create customized protocols based on their goals and help them get to the next level. We have ad hoc where people come in and just buy services. And then we have membership packages, which for someone that's coming in and using the services a lot makes a lot more sense.
So what about everybody that says that peptides, they're scared of taking them and
Yeah, it's crazy. Typically, the people I find that are like scared of peptides were the first running to go get a vaccine,
Mhm.
an experimental vaccine that was rushed out the gate that the government told them they needed to get. It's the same people, or it's the completely overweight guy that is telling me, "Oh, I'm nervous about the side effects of these peptides."
yeah.
And it blows my mind. I'm like, have you ever considered the side effects of being fat?
Yeah.
I mean, walking around, you are overweight. What that does to your personal life, maybe your mental health, your internally in your organs, you're increasing your all cause mortality like over 50% if you're overweight.
Yeah.
Visceral fat is like one of the biggest killers in all these different organ related deaths. You have an increased chance of diabetes. Without GLPs are literally the biggest transformative medical breakthrough of our generation, like of our living society. The health system was literally about to collapse, like on its own. Like there were not enough health professionals to take care of all of these people with diabetes and the overweight risk. And the health system as we know it was literally gonna
I remember.
collapse.
Yep, I remember.
And GLPs are like the most revolutionary thing ever for that because now there's this clear, easy solution with, tirzepatide and retatrutide where you can decrease your body fat on average like 25, 30%. So that people will never understand like how much of a difference that it's even making. I saw a crazy stat where overweight women that started taking GLPs were like on average dating someone. They started taking GLPs and like almost all of them were dating someone else a year and a half later.
Yeah.
And we're like in a happy, think about what that does for increasing the birth rate of our country, helping people's mental health and how they're moving around but people question me about like the side effects when they're in a position of a very serious health risk
Yeah.
across the board when
Yeah.
you're really overweight.
You're fat, you look like shit, you have cardiovascular
you're-
problems, and you're worried about peptides.
And you're worried about something that's going to help you get there. So It's just it's been like it's a funny
Yeah.
irony of me is the same people that are scared of this stuff haven't considered their own risk, complications, and side effects of what it's like to be
Overweight.
really
Yeah,
overweight.
yeah.
It's
I
a
gained 20
killer.
pounds once. That thing slowed me down.
Yeah.
You just feel completely different. That's just, you think 20 pounds is not a big deal. But brother, I gained those 20 pounds and I was not feeling the same immediately. Like for me, it was a big difference. It was a lot of weight. Just 20 measly pounds
Yep.
was a lot of weight,
It's it,
and it
it's
slows you down.
it's also it's not just like it's the visceral fat around your organs is like the secret killer of like all these more like increases your all-cause mortality, like incredible number, like in almost every organ. And you don't really know until you like come in, you get a DEXA scan, and you know where that's at. But like this stuff's eliminating visceral fat, which is incredible for like what are the outcomes of not being fat are exponentially higher than the side effects of someone someone is worried about, that someone that needs a GLP,
Yeah,
just like an overweight person.
yeah.
You still got to do the fundamentals always, like good sleep, workout, nutrition are the fundamentals. But like, if you're really overweight and you haven't figured it out for 5 years, 10 years, and you're questioning what might happen to you, I promise you, the outcome is way better than what anything else you might be dealing with because you're fat.
So the guy walks in and tells you, oh man, I'm scared to do this. I'm scared of the peptides.
We have a conversation with them, and honestly, I'm not the doctor that has a conversation with them. They typically want me out of that room because I can't help but give medical
Yeah.
advice. But
That's when the hawk comes out.
I can't help. I try not to give medical advice, but I leave that to the professionals. But just in everyday life, I have that conversation with people all the time. And in 2026, there's really no excuse anymore to be really overweight. There's so much you can be doing. We even have like a non-invasive. We're doing non-invasive liposuctions where someone could literally walk in fat and leave not fat. I mean, there's peptides. There's so much more we know about nutrition and health, and most of the time you could get it done by working hard and doing the right things. But some people need that enhancement, and it sure does make it a lot easier. I was I lost like 25 pounds on retatrutide, and I was for years of my life was eating 8,000 calories a day, trying to gain weight. I was
8,000?
playing college football. I was trying to gain weight for 10 years,
Yeah.
just trying to gain weight,
Uh-huh.
and then I had to cut back and eat less than 3,000.
Yeah.
That was hard for me.
Yeah.
So like, all I want to do is eat,
Right.
have something that helps me curb my appetite. Was transformative for me.
Yes.
I'm like, oh great, I can like have a six pack again. It's been
Yeah.
a long time. I never
Right.
was fat,
Yeah.
but I could really be like optimize my health, reduce those visceral fat levels, and feel better. You feel better when you're not eating all the time.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
when you don't have the heavy lunch and you're
Yeah.
like, when you're a little bit hungry, you're working better.
Yo, that excess weight slows you down.
Excess weight slows you down, and
Yeah.
you don't. We got the U.S. has been taught this marketing by big food in the
Yeah.
90s taught us 3 meals a day.
Yeah,
all
yeah.
this stuff. We don't
Yeah, yeah.
our ancestors weren't eating 3 meals a day.
Yeah, yeah.
Like we really should be cutting that back. And the intermittent fasting is powerful too. And you feel better when you're not thinking. You get rid of some of that food noise, and you're like just feeling lighter. You work better, you perform better, and your body is behaving better. Especially eating before bed. That's like a big no and go. That's
Yeah.
one thing that I have trouble getting rid of. But it's like your body is
It's
not
tough in
really
Miami.
sleeping and recovering well when you're like just eating meals before. It's just breaking down food.
Yeah.
If you let your body actually rest,
Yeah.
you don't eat 4 hours before bed.
Yeah. I try not to eat after 8 o'clock. Like 8 o'clock will be like my.
Yeah, I just need to get to the gym in the morning, and I'll be on point with that because I keep working out late at night,
Yeah.
and then I need to have a protein, and then but it's definitely like one of my weaknesses, like no food before bed.
Yeah. For the average guy that's just sitting out there and watching this, who may be in a place where they don't have this kind of treatment, I know one thing you said that resonated with me was the blood work.
Yep.
That's very important. I feel like is that where you start?
That's where everyone should start. I mean, it's like isn't this has to be done at least twice a year. I mean, blood work is the fundamentals. Like making sure that your health, like seeing where you're at and knowing yourself and the data is where you start. And you can't really be optimizing your health seriously by like just checking the box, like, oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, because something underlying in your body could be changing without you knowing. You need to measure it. You need to watch that performance grow and really just be obsessed with the data within inside of you. And blood work is just the basics. There's you get way more, into it when you're like doing, microbiome testing, you're doing epigenetic, you're doing genetic methylation tests because everyone's bodies are different. You can't just like AI has made this all like really cutting edge and different in the last few years. It used to just be like a lot of averages. Like, okay, you're in the average for body fat or this metric or this metric. You're out of range. It's like so much more advanced with that now with AI because it's like everyone's your genetic methylation is different than this person. Now it's more instead of reactive medicine, it's preventative medicine. Here are the steps that you could be doing to get to here. And we have like trillions of data sets that AI is able to like it used to just be too much information to even know what to do with, and now AI is just plopping it out for you. AI is revolutionizing healthcare and changing a lot of the outcomes that we can actually predict to like everyone just think you can't reverse like cellular aging. Now we're pretty damn close. We're on like the 2 yard line with like David Sinclair's research and gene therapy. And you have guys like Brian Johnson, whose pace of aging is like 0.45. I mean, that's great. Like, so clearly you're doing all these things correctly. Here are the results. People are showing those results, and that's what's made longevity's kind of like blown up. It's people getting excited, like, wow, I'm, people get depressed as they get older. It's a lot. Your youth is like your joy. Everyone just wants to stay younger. They want to feel younger. The second you start feeling old and you're in pain, like it takes a lot of the joy out of life. And now there's all this like cutting edge stuff. When you know your story and you do the right things, you can extend that health span. So you can feel like you're 50 when you're in your 70s, and that's really cool.
So let's
So that's what it's all about extending your health span.
let's tackle AI because everybody comes here with different opinions. It seems like you're embracing the AI.
Yeah.
How
I
is
mean,
it?
as a business owner, if you're not embracing AI, you're crazy. It is also I'm talking about healthcare specific when I say AI, but AI has made an everyday person with an idea be able to start a business without a lot of cash, which is amazing. So as a founder, I got to, I have an app pending in the app store. I built a website with a few hundred pages. I have a like I have a business consultant in the
Mhm.
room with me that I just am brainstorming with. I get to collaborate with. I mean, it is if you're not using AI, you're going to be left in the dust. And it's really powerful when you're a founder and you have an idea and you want to help get it to delivery. The costs are incredibly lower now. The timeline of how fast you can get something done, I think about the days when I was on the desk, working in finance. Like I could have pumped this out in a day. Things that used to take me weeks. So like, is it good for entry level job employment rates? Probably not. But it's for an entrepreneur, if you have an ideas and you want to your idea to the next level, you have a incredibly smart, powerful tool at your fingertips that you can help build that app or help build the website, help you execute from a business standpoint. This AI is just getting smarter and smarter, like literally by the weeks. Like every a few weeks, a new update comes out where the government can't even keep up with it and has to like peel it back because it's like it's a powerful tool. You need to be using it any way you can.
So I think we have two chapters in the AI book for you. You have AI that's helped you as an entrepreneur build your business, and then AI is helping you with the actual business as well.
Absolutely. You don't need like super expensive lawyers to do everything anymore. You don't need like a AI can help you cut costs with accounting, legal, help you execute on business plans. The whole consulting world is shrinking that fast. Like this whole paying a ton of money to hire a business consultant to help you build a business plan that AI is really good at doing. That's incredible.
Mhm.
Um, and also we're information like you don't it's not as valued anymore as it used to be like to have because you have information is at our fingertips like that the intellect that we have if we know how to use it is right in front of us so we have this like what used to be like an informational gap that someone would need to go to 10 years of school to talk about that or uh or know how to code that, they would need to be a software programmer. To know that, you would need to, be in law school for 10 years. It's gone. I mean, you have AI can do all that stuff for you. So like the value of that is lessened, which makes you as a business owner be able to cut costs, be able to see around the corners, helps you guide you to make better business decisions. So it's extremely powerful, and you have to be using it.
And speed.
And
You
speed.
turn this around and
Yeah, from inception of me like saying like, oh, I think I'm gonna start a longevity clinic to opening, you know, still I would have liked everything as a business owner. Whatever you think it's gonna cost more. However fast you think you're gonna get it done, you're gonna have hiccups along the way. It's gonna take a little longer. That's just business. So I wanted to open even, in the winter when Miami was like hotter. Uh, but like things take time. Yeah, the city's out of your control, finding a space, hiring the right people, all that stuff. But AI sped things up to us being like, operationally sound business with amazing tools, a website with a few hundred pages, and that would typically cost you a few hundred grand 2 years ago. An app penny in the app store that I was able to get designed and make for me very cost effectively, and then just really feeling the less need to hire like more and more resources, which would typically tank a business owner. To be in the green, AI is typically the answer to help you get to the green. Like, what are we doing right now that costs too much money that we could lean on, AI, or help AI even help forecast and you know look in your books and see where you could probably cut back or optimize more. So all that stuff super powerful, and for marketing purposes too.
yeah. Hawk, a lot of people want to get into entrepreneurship. They want to have a good business that pumps out, but when a business is good, you still have to make good investments. And I don't know anybody that knows more about making good investments than you. The 11 residents looks like it's a good one, or what?
Yeah, I mean, I bought into that project like day one at like close to $1,000 a foot. It's probably worth around $1,700 a foot now. So God willing, that seems like a pretty good investment. At the time, I was you never know. I was selling like crypto and tech stocks at the time to buy into that, and then that immediately tanked, but then it came back up. So like you got to be pretty diversified. Like you need to have money in the market work, and the markets have been ripping. I like to invest in things that I can control, things I can feel and touch. So I've done well investing in real estate, and then I really like reinvesting in businesses that I get to control and really, you know, it puts a fire under my ass too. Like I can't like kind of coast and just take it easy, make, pretty good money. I could live a pretty comfortable life, but like when I'm reinvesting my own money into the business and it puts a fire to my ass, like I need to succeed, so that's just good for me internally. But I think investing in businesses is always going to be the most powerful way to really level up, to like get to that next level is you gotta own things. I think with the AI race, if you don't own cash flowing businesses or assets in the next 3 to 5 years, you are not in a pretty place.
You're gonna fall behind.
No, I think we're gonna have, mark my words, universal basic income in 5 years. AI's gonna just wipe out entry level jobs. It's a tough time to be sending kids to 60K a year
Yeah,
private university
right.
school to come take an entry level job. I feel it's not sunshine and rainbows.
Yes.
So you like want to be like cautious of that. And there's ways you could just dive into the AI world and or pick a career that isn't as affected by it. But you want to own cash flowing businesses or assets. So I think I encourage a lot of people that are, really intelligent friends of mine, even like in corporate world, to like think about that. Like the world, I actually have a lot of friends this year that are business owners that we typically all take off for the summer that are kind of in grind mode. They're like, honestly, it's Miami's kind of nice in the summer. We can like focus on work, and they see a lot of people see how quickly it's moving and want to be positioned properly for that outcome. Uh, so I think it's amazing what it can do for you as a business owner, but you have to also think about it if you're an everyday corporate employee. How are you positioned well to not be taken out by AI? Because I think there will be like the haves and the have-nots, and it's kind of scary what it could do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
11, everybody knows that as a club, the best club worldwide. And then all of a sudden, now they have these residences. You get involved. Like, walk us through your thought process. How did you get involved? What do you see coming forward? Because I know a lot of people. We have a lot of people that don't live in Miami that watch, that may also want, that are looking to invest in the market in Miami. You know, into real estate here. Everybody wants a second home in Miami,
Yep.
right? So tell us about it, because I don't know anybody that knows anything about this project, just you. So I see you in the pool. The place ain't even open.
Yeah, it's kind of nice living in the building when not many people are there. But
So the building's open?
yeah, it's raw. It's still under construction. It's raw. They had us close a little earlier. But I like investing in good businesses and good owners and brands. That's 11's the number one revenue per square foot nightclub in the world, and it's like kind of decent gap between them. So like Danny and Gino, those guys they know how to make money. The brand's really strong. I remember when I was thinking about buying a unit, they heard the stat that they sold like $4 million in hats, and I was like walking onto an airplane, and I saw like 3 people with 11 hats on. And I was like, okay, this makes sense. But it was just originally I was just trying to buy a unit for myself, and then I had a few friends that wanted. I realized a few of my friends also wanted to buy units, so then we syndicated and we bought a floor, and then I just started selling the units because my networks at the time, and kind of still is, it's a bunch of rich people that like to have fun, like out and about, and so I just became a guy slinging 11 condos on the side. So that was like a pounce. That was like an opportunity that was like I got excited about and pounced on it because I thought I could move fast and it's not a slow sales process. But I think it's a unique. I mean, it's a Vegas style day club. There's like a sports lounge. They give Riviera Dining Group, who owns some of the best hospitality brands. Like they own Mila, they own Castaneos. They gave them the whole second floor and the rooftop.
Mm.
So the place is going to be packed, exciting in that district in Miami. That's no 24/7. People come to Miami to have a good time. What bachelor party or 40th birthday or that was kind of how I thought about it because I'm in the short-term rental business. Like, damn, it'd be pretty cool if I could rent like 7 bedrooms, to XYZ group coming into town. So I thought and at the time it was one of the only buildings that were allowing short-term rentals. So it made sense for like an investment thesis to park some money into it. And I think it's gonna turn out pretty well.
So that pool is like a club,
It's
or that's for the residents?
It's
Like, what is the deal there?
It's a Vegas style day club.
So it's open to the
Pool.
public. When they throw parties there, they're gonna have parties there.
They're gonna open. I believe they're shooting for 11/11
Mhm.
in November to open, and it's a pretty crazy performer that they've already booked. But that place is gonna be crazy every weekend. We don't have like anything in Miami that's like that exciting to do during the day.
Yeah.
We're driving pretty far.
Yeah, it's died down. The day it used to be a happening town during the
But
day,
even
not
back
anymore.
then, it wasn't like a crazy venue. It was
Right.
like a very small pool with
Mhm.
cabanas around it selling
Right.
for 5K. This is like a proper product
Yes.
that's
Yes.
like kind of more like Encore Vegas vibes,
Yes.
and it could, those guys know what they're doing.
Yes.
I think they'll be just fine filling the. It's a big space.
Yeah. So you got an idea for the merch from the hats from 11, right? Because we got our merch right here from the business.
Actually, my boy that makes the hats for 11 got me this merch.
Oh, he did. I guess we learn.
Yeah.
We learn, right? As an
Yeah.
entrepreneur, you got to learn from the people that are out there doing it.
Yeah.
And I also saw that at Evolve, you're not just the owner, you're also a client.
Oh yeah, I'm a patient number one for everything. I love this stuff. I mean, that's like one of my. I'll buy something that maybe I look back that maybe I didn't need that, but like I like to use it. Like, so biohacking every day, taking care of myself as much as I
Biohacking,
can.
look Maxon.
Yeah. People say look maxing. People should be health maxing.
Yes.
Health
Yes.
max it,
Yes.
wallet maxing.
Yes. Yes.
The whole nine. Why are we
Yeah.
talking about look
Yeah,
max?
yeah.
It's not like one of like
Yeah. They
be
together, right?
you maxing.
Yeah.
It's a combination of these things. Have fun if you're just look maxing and
Yeah.
you got zero health or nothing in your pockets.
Yes.
It doesn't work.
Right.
It's all about
Well, you
investing
can't look,
in the best
you can't
version
go
of
to you can't go there unless you got something in the wallet, right?
Yeah, we don't take insurance.
Yeah.
A lot of this more cutting edge stuff is
Self-funded.
it is not incredibly affordable yet for everybody. It is like a luxury,
Mhm.
this new like preventative health stuff and having a concierge doctor, but it's not cheap, but it's gotten a lot cheaper. Like people that were doing a lot of this cutting edge stuff like 5 years ago, 10 years ago, it was like only this really fortunate class of, you know, 1%ers that were able to afford or even know about all this stuff. It's been democratized a lot by AI, all the information that we know, all the more players that are doing it. And the pricing isn't going up for a lot of these things. It's
Yes.
going down.
Yes.
Over time, it will continue. I think the prices are a lot of this stuff is becoming more readily available for everybody, which is good for, everyday, Americans that are just trying to take care of their health.
Yeah, but that's why I asked you at the beginning of the show because I know you rub with a lot of heavy hitters. Health is wealth. Like
Absolutely.
what is important out there? Is it being wealthy and looking like shit? You know what I'm
I
saying? Like
mean,
what's more important? Have the
a
big yacht and look like shit
ask
and
those
not be
people
healthy?
ask those people if they're healthy. There are exceptions, but, like, if you're, like, in pain every day when you wake up or you have kids and you can't even go play basketball with them, if you're not impressing your wife and you look like shit or it's affecting your love life because you've lost it there, like, not just having money in your pocket is not everything, and, you can't really be a full encompassing person unless you have your health. I mean, you can't deliver for your family, you can't perform at your best at your work. You you need to take care of your health first so you can continue to be there and be counted on. And if you look good, feel good, it's fun. It's quite fun to optimize your health and like extend this version of your life. And it's just going to become more and more popular. Like I'm telling you, people are going to care less about the fancy toys and more about are you taking care of yourself? What do you look, are, what do you represent? And how did you get there?
Which is why the investment into the treatments is an investment.
Absolutely. Yeah, it is. I don't think of it as an expense when I'm spending money on my health. I think about it as an investment in my health.
Yeah.
I think about like, oh, I'm going to spend, $1,600 on this expensive, blood test that tells me my age and stuff. But like, I might find out information in there that's invaluable to me.
Yeah.
When I'm spending money on my mom's health, when I'm getting her stem cell injections, when I'm spending $1,000 to make sure she doesn't have cancer, I would spend $5,000 to make sure she doesn't have cancer. She's 70.
Yeah.
Like those are like investing in your family or its health or your own is shouldn't be treated as an expense.
Yes.
But I still have friends that they struggle with that.
Yeah.
They don't blink at a $2,000 bottle, but they're like,
Yeah.
negotiating with me about cleaning
Yes.
out their blood.
Yes. Yeah. I would say to them, I would say, if you don't think spending 1,600 on blood work right now that could save you from a possible heart attack that you may get in a month because you don't know what's inside you and extend your life 20 years, you wouldn't pay 1,600 for
Yeah,
that?
exactly. It's a lot of but all this stuff when you add it all up, like one of the guys I listen to a lot says, "Yeah, you should be spending about 10% of what you earn on your health."
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm biased. I'm in the industry, but like I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
I mean, unless there could be a cap to that if you're making crazy crazy money, but that's a worthwhile like when you combine the wellness economy is so much bigger than people realize. Like look at Miami, like, look how many gyms there are, Pilates studios, wellness activations, and then, like, this you combine that with, like, the supplements, the peptide worlds, the longevity clinics, the spas, the wellness economy is in the tens and trillions of dollars, it's huge, and there's a lot of opportunity in that, but that's just kinda speaks to how much people are starting to increase that number of how much they're spending on their health. But it all
I would disagree with you though. I don't think if I had unlimited wealth, I would cap it. I could find
You
stuff
can
to fill
find
the
stuff.
day. You know what I
You
mean?
definitely
I'd be
could.
getting a massage in the morning, massage at night, stretch in the middle of the day, stretch them at night, make sure I'm taking all my peptides, make sure I'm taking my tests, make sure I'm taking my blood work, make
Yep.
sure I got a private chef, make sure I got the top of the line food. I don't think there's a limit to how much you can health max.
There's always gonna be something else that you can spend money on, I it's for me, I'm like I get presented every day with like people coming to my office and trying to sell me the new fanciest toy or cutting edge treatment, or I'm like I struggle to even go to these biohack events because I'm like, if I go, I'm gonna spend
Yeah.
25 grand on a new toy
Yeah.
or
On
something.
your stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just like, so I'm reinvesting into the business instead of taking distributions because like I want to build our product to be like really valuable and have sustainability and to be like the place that people want to go to. Because there's we are not the only longevity clinic. I'm competing with billionaire passion project wives that are opening clinics,
Mhm.
people with really big spaces, and I am I need to offer like a really good experience, have the best doctors. So I invested 30 hours of physician hours a week. No one's doing that. Everyone else has like a blind MD in the background that's maybe there 5, 10 hours a week. I have 30 hours of physicians a week. I'm investing in all of our modalities and treatments, and anything that we're doing, I'm getting the best product. I could be I could be making more money on our stem cell injections going with the discount provider. I don't do that. I want retention. I want people coming back. I want them to refer their friends. So I'm all about like really changing the outcome of these patients. And that I think that will pay off in the long run, but it's an investment.
Yeah.
It reduces my margins. It's additional investment capturing them. It might be making a deal to make sure they're happy, but reinvesting in the business is also reinvesting in your patient's outcomes and getting them the best service and product that I possibly can.
Yeah, I don't care if you're competing with a billionaire wife passion project. I want to go to the place where the guy's taking all the shit he's telling me to take and seeing him with the same results that I want.
Yeah.
And that makes a difference to me. I don't care about some fancy schmancy place where some lady owns that and she's just there to put her name on it. You know what I mean? I want to go where Hawk is telling me, yo, this is what I'm doing because I'm looking at your Instagram and I'm seeing the stuff that you're doing and I want to do it too. Like stem cells here in your post, you're talking about stem cells and you're taking it. So
Yeah.
why is that important for you?
I my whole life I've never been I could have made a lot of money in my years with the network I had just raising money for things I didn't believe in that.
Yeah.
Like I know I'm blessed to know a lot of very fortunate
Mhm.
people in you know the billionaire range, and I have a huge network of people, and I'm constantly offered commissions like, oh, raise money for it's like, is that something I would invest in? No, I'm not going to raise. So I've always been in like I'm a believer. I need to see someone use a product. I don't invest in deals where the founder didn't invest in the deal. Like, where's your skin in the game?
Mhm.
Like, so I believe that too with these products. Like, are you using the products? Like, yeah, that's why I started the clinic because like I
Yeah.
because I love stem cells
Yeah.
and I love all these regenerative cutting edge things. And I think we're just getting started with how exciting and this area of the world
What do
is.
the stem cells do for you?
Stem cells are the internal repair system of your body. They're master cells. They're the only like pluripotent cells, so they can turn into other cells and solve issues for you. For me, I've used them primarily for injuries. So like I killed my shoulder in the gym, just like lifting heavy. I couldn't fix it to save my life, and that's just like that. It was like making me depressed. I'm like I can't lift weights. I'm just like I'm stuck. I waited for rehab it, nothing would work. So I use stem cells to uh, and stem cells, exosomes, and PRP, and to rejuvenate like my whole AC joint. I'm back lifting heavy weights again. I feel great. A lot of people have these injuries they give up on.
Yes.
So stem cells are great for one, just like the low hanging fruit is injuries, knees, elbows, shoulders, joints. Stem cells are an incredible solution to like accelerate that healing process. But they're also becoming more and more popular for just general IV wellness. So, like, I harvested and stored my own stem cells. I'll be getting them done monthly for the rest of my life. I'll be giving them to my family. I'll give them to my mom, and that's has incredible effects within your body, fighting inflammation, which I need to do. My blood work says I'm inflamed. Uh, has there's systemic anti-aging benefits. There's uh, they're fighting any problem area within your body. Your stem cells are going and taking care of it. Anytime, the easiest analogy I used to use is like when you were 13 years old and get hurt in the gym, you'd be back in 2 weeks because you had more stem cells in your body remediating and recovering that process. As you get older, you lose the quality and quantity of those stem cells. So it's important to make sure you put them back in you and to activate your stem cells.
Yes.
There's injecting stem cells and there's also activating stem cells. So a lot of really creative ways to activate your stem cells are things like fasting, which is like something I was very resistant to because I love to eat.
Mhm.
But like fasting, putting your cells in fight or flight mode activates your stem cells. So the big key to longevity really is something called like hormesis, which is like that fight or flight that you put your cells in. So whether that's intentional heat, so like sauna or cold therapy, fasting, but putting your really training until you think you're going to pass out, sprints, heavy lifting. These are like really tough you're really testing your cells. They're in fight or flight. Like, am I going to do this? When that happens, you activate stem cells within your body, and that's when the magic happens.
Yeah.
That's literally when things get cured. When you know they a lot of patients that are like really really sick in the hospital, when they get pretty desperate, the best thing might be for them to just put themselves in that really difficult, like not eating for 7 days could actually really benefit them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And people are starting to do that with like cancer patients, like really serious things. You want to activate the stem cells in your body so they can do their job and heal whatever you have going on.
Yeah. I talk about the caveman. If you look at the average caveman, he was in shape, he was jacked, he was
Yeah.
ripped, very uncomfortable life.
Yeah.
Then you look at the modern man, very comfortable life, out of shape, looks like
Yeah.
shit, you know?
We have a epidemic of like low T comfortable boys.
Yeah.
Not even call them men.
Yes.
But
Yes.
we don't, there's not enough men doing tough things anymore.
Right.
Like, and you need to do the hard things.
Yes.
And that's what's also rewarding about longevity is like a lot of people are looking for the I the next sexy thing that they can inject in themselves and not like, oh, I'm gonna just do peptides. I don't need to lift weights or
Right.
work out. Like,
Yeah.
let me know how that works out
Yeah.
for you. Like,
Yeah.
you still need to do
Yes.
the tough stuff.
Yes.
So that's rewarding. Like
Yeah.
you're putting in the work and you get the outcomes, but like you need to do the challenging stuff.
Yes.
Um,
You got to
and
create the challenges
you
because
need
we
to
live in
create the
such an
challenges.
easy
You got to
life.
fight challenges.
Yeah.
You should be excited about getting knocked down, just like so you can get back up and get stronger. But like looking at challenges as there's we're talking about like working out and
Mhm.
physical challenges,
Yes.
but like being an entrepreneur isn't sunshine and
No.
rainbows. You're like you're
No.
like really really test you on all in every
So many
dimension.
levels.
So many
Yeah.
levels. Yeah. You're gonna get tested. You're gonna be, financially stressed out. You're gonna you might have to be borrowing money or maxing out cards to make sure your staff is paid because you got to pay them first. You have to
Mhm.
be putting in, you're putting out fires every day. So you have to welcome stress.
Yes.
The best mentors I've ever had in my life and like the best business leaders are calm as can be while dealing with, you know, crazy fire drills. Like putting out fires when you're like, and being relaxed in that atmosphere is how you separate like the goods from the greats.
That's so true.
That's like that's how you really like elevate. It's like, oh, we need that guy when this place is burning down. We're gonna need to have him in the boardroom
Yeah.
because you don't want to be a panicking. You want to welcome challenges, and that's when you really able to elevate. I think as an entrepreneur, is being able to handle shit when it's all not working out.
Yeah, that's so true. I had a mentor. That guy was so cool,
Cool,
calm, and collective, man.
and
It was
then
crazy
it's just like
how he would get things done, being so calm and motivate others to do it with that calmness was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really get things when you're in like a angry or worked up, high cortisol state of mind. You're not going to be as effective at doing what you do best. Um, and that's in like every profession. I can't think of one that doesn't. That is not the case, unless you're like in a UFC ring trying to kill somebody.
Yeah.
Like,
And even then,
and even then, you want to be like,
yeah, when you're getting choked out, you got to be cool, calm, because if you get too excited, you'll probably tap out faster than the guy that
Exactly.
knows how to keep his cool, get out of it, and live to fight like the Justin Gaethje. He just won the championship. He stayed cool. He walked in under a lot of pressure, and he won his fight. Being an underdog. So it's like being cool and calm has its ways of prevailing, even in a fight.
Yep. Having that in mind, you could really start to calm yourself down when you're like, all right, this is one of those moments where I'm being tested. Like, how am I going to react to it? And just like getting better at it. It's rewarding and it's enjoyable. I also think you just need to intentionally put yourself into states of discomfort. Be like, do things that like you're not, whatever your weakness is. Your weakness might be public speaking. Your weakness might be like, go do that. Go like figure that out. Go figure that weakness. Because guess what? Communication and speaking is incredibly important to level up.
Mhm.
If you can't have good conversation, you can't communicate well, you can't really, in most areas of life, like really bring it to the next level. If you can't do X, Y, Z, go attack that, make yourself put yourself in the uncomfort zones and do what you're not good at, and then obviously physically 100% do the same thing.
Connor, we're all dealing with aging parents, and you went through this with your father, and now you're helping your mother. Tell us some things that you recommend, you suggest that we start doing now with them to help them with their longevity.
There's so many things that you could be tracking to make sure to look around the corner and catching things early is so important. I think the biggest mistake within longevity is waiting. Is like waiting till something happens, waiting till the symptoms emerge, not being able to, you know, look around the corner on what they're most prone to get. So like don't wait. Like go get have them get a cancer screening. Make sure they're on top of their blood work. Make sure have them wear wearables. Like these things, like a simple Oura ring or a Whoop, could start spiking red flags that you don't even know about. Like you might not be getting oxygen delivery while you're sleeping to like your brain.
Yes.
Like this will tell you that. That's crazy. Like so that's a good way to track how your parents are doing. So like I think when your parents are aging, almost all of the gifts should be health related.
Slap a ring on them.
Slap a ring on them, put an Oura ring on them, help track with a doctor, put a, you know, all that stuff is powerful. So the data and the tracking is super important. And then you perfect it. You optimize it. Like, oh, these are the supplements they are deficient in. Here are the amino acids they need more of. Here's what we need to keep an eye on. Like they're really high LDLs and APOB. Like we need to take care of her heart. What can we do to take care of her heart before there's an issue? What can we do to like make sure we're catching a cancer screening at stage one or avoiding that cancer altogether? Like that requires investments. Like those are medical MRI scans or a cancer screening. So like catching things early is life saving, and that could extend their life. Over 10 years. Who doesn't want to extend their parents' lives more? Like I think everybody wants their parents to be around for longer. So and those are things that I wish I could have done with my dad, and he was a little more difficult case to like
Yeah.
motivate
Yeah.
with the health
I
stuff.
understand that.
Yeah, but like, man, there's no going back to that stuff. So like and a lot of parents, another thing to keep in mind is the most powerful, arguably the most important part of longevity is like connection and community. So a lot of people might have like a divorced parent or a single parent that is like, you know, not answering that phone call or keeping in touch with your parents, like that stuff, that's the most important thing. You can never not answer a phone call when your parents are calling you, honestly. Because my dad, I used to call me to talk my brain about nothing. Now I just wish I could pick up the phone and talk to him about nothing,
Anything. Yeah.
anything. I just like want to call him sometimes. But like connection and community, real human connection is super important. So I think that's important to not just your parents, but like you might be an aunt or an uncle or a friend that might you haven't heard from in a while. Like human connection is so important for your health span, how long you live. Mental health is obviously like that's half the battle. Is like you feel good physically, you'll feel good mentally. You'll live a lot longer. So you can do a lot to just like anytime I'm in the car, I'll try to like pick up the phone and just call, people that I love to like just check in on them because that goes really far.
Yeah, that's great. That's awesome that you said that because it's not, you could have said, well, there's this peptide that's great for that, and that's
Yeah,
not, he said it's organic, it's free, it's the love that you can give. That's
it's
really the best.
yep. Just like bring them down. They're always going to tell you they're fine.
Yeah.
Their world could be burning down. She could be in the most pain ever. She doesn't want me to feel her
Yes.
pain.
Yeah.
For example, my mom.
Yeah.
So like I'll fly her down to Miami and have her here 4 times a year now for like long weeks where
Yeah.
I just block off my calendar and I get to take care of my mom and
Right.
my brother's here too. And that's like, awesome. So take your parents on a vacation. Like you don't know how much that could just bring them back to a happy state of mind and enjoy it. So real connection and community and real love actually has serious longevity benefits, and that you'll cherish those memories forever, and they cherish them even more because that's all they got now.
So to wrap it up, I think what we got from all this is that people are always chasing money, they're always chasing success, and they forget to pay attention to their health And Evolve is not a place where you go to just look max. It's a place where you go to health max,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Which I think is a big misconception, that people think that these places are for looking the greatest, and then maybe they don't care because they don't care how they look. But it's not about that. It's about longevity. It's about your health. It's about extending your life. And it doesn't mean that you're doing crazy stuff to do that. A simple blood work
Yep.
can get that done. Come in and just get your blood work. Don't, you know, but let's find out if there's something that we can do to help extend your life, because you may not care now, but I promise you, when you get to that crossroads and you're laying in that bed and death is looking in your face, you care.
Just go talk to people in the hospital beds. What it like, it's not a, that's all that they would just, it's the biggest preventable regret that you are going to have later in your life if you're not taking care of your health now. Like, this is the most important period of your life, is like really when you're in your 30s, and from like, they say between 30 and 45, the decisions that you make
For sure.
are the most important, like 15 years of your life, that will determine how long you are going to keep feeling and living this way,
Mm-hmm.
like extending your health span, living longer. So like, it is the most common thing that someone's going to tell you in later in their life is, I wish I, I wish I could have avoided to be where they are. So I always say, like, everyone's got 100 problems in their life until they have a health problem, and then they have one. It's the only thing that matters. It's the most important thing. So keep that in mind in the decisions that you make, in the your behavior, everything that you do, because you don't want to be on that hospital bed.
Yeah.
Life is so precious and it's short. So you want to enjoy it to the fullest, but just do everything you can to take care of it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Guys, Evolve Longevity here on Miami Beach. Thank you, Connor, for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate you. Check him out. We're going to put all his handles there. We're going to put the handles to the business so you guys can check him out. And just go, if you're just curious about your health, you're not sure, go get some blood work.
Absolutely.
Go in there, spend the $1,600, and just think, would I pay $1,600 for 10 more years? Because you can literally get,
Yep.
that much just from something as simple as knowing what blood work. And there's so many people out there that are resistant to just doing blood work. I know it's true.
Yeah. Honestly, 5 years ago, like, I think I was like, I haven't been sick since literally the third grade. I don't see regular doctors. I was just like, man, mind over matter. I'm healthy.
Yeah.
I'm in good shape.
Yeah.
Like, and then you could be in a whole lot better shape. There's red flags in everybody's blood work.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and then you figure out that's preventative medicine.
Yeah.
Seeing where your red flags are, seeing what you can do around the corner to prevent them.
Yeah, just a simple tweak in your diet can help.
Tweaking your diet, a supplement, just like make sure your body's firing and functioning properly. A lot of it is so preventable, and we have all these amazing tools to make it easy now.
Yeah. It's a shame if people don't take advantage of it, because when they get to that point and they could have done something about it, It's always
Absolutely.
like the worst when you're like, damn, I could have done something about it.
Yep.
And then you don't do it, and then you're like, you're like, damn, I messed up, and
Yep.
it's too late at that point. Don't let it get too late.
It's people spend all this time like studying a stock they invest in, or an investment decision, or their business, and they haven't even studied themselves. They don't even know how their internals are firing, how their body's operating and fighting things. So
Yeah.
that is whatever it is they're focused on. Like, I would love for them to convince me how health isn't more important.
Yeah, I don't agree. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right, 100%. You got the health is everything, because
Yeah.
you could be poor, and as long as you got your health, you got a fighting chance. But if you're rich and you're dying, that money doesn't do anything. I've seen it.
Yeah.
It's rich, and the money's doesn't do shit. It's sad, but it's
100%.
that's why we're here to help you prevent that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Check out our boy. We're good to go. Thank you again, my brother.
Thank you, brother.
We
Have a good
appreciate
one.
you. You're the man.
God bless.